Yo, and today we will do something. It's called structures, right? And over here, you already have I already have a Visual Studio open. And what we will do in this case is write a small program, and I will explain what an instructor does, and I will kind of go through some examples how I can use structures and how structures make easy for us, right, to kind of build programs, right? Like maybe write a program that you want to have a data, you have a different data types, right? And you want to present that data inside a block of code, right? An array not gonna let you do it. An array you have to kind of have either integers or either doubles or a string data type or a char data type, which is character data type, right? In this one, in this method that I'm going to teach, it's pretty usable piece of tool. We can actually make some sense out of it once we start doing a little programming, right? So let's start with include, right? And then IO stream, right? Then below that, and you make it sure they put over here is a very important. Here you go. Interesting. Okay. So right here, what we do is the following. So we put using name space, right? And then, of course, it got to be one word. And also space, right? And then std, which stands for standard. Then int, right? And main, right? And then bring that down a little bit. And also bring this down a little bit, right? So what an struct does is allows us to write a code to represent different data types, right? And what a structure does is like a group. It's similar to the classes, right? Not the same, but has some similarities of classes, right? Because classes, you could actually, you got to have a main, you have like a main category of whatever you're doing, and inside that class, you can actually represent, other subcategories, right? Belong to the main category, right? Well, there is not, it's similar. There's some similarities here. But the only thing in the class is like, well, I just want to I will just go with this right now, right? I don't want to go, just go off topics but I will try to explain what an struct method does, right? So what a struct method does the following. So let's say, for example, you want to represent a certain group of people, right? And the group of people have names, have memberships, right? And have maybe some restrictions, right? And some of the restriction can be age, right? Age, if you under such as age, you cannot do something, right? Well, let's say, for example, and because this is a conservative engineering academy, let's represent a group, people, right? That group of people is a church. It's a church, right? So, okay, so let's do that. Why not, right? It's just example anyway. So and again, this is the Conservative Engineering Academy. The word Jesus, God will pop up over here in this channel. If you feel uncomfortable with that, right, you are more welcome to, hey, we have a freedom in the world, though. That's the good thing. Some countries we don't have any freedoms. In this one, we still have just a tiny bit. They might want to take that away from us, but again, that's another topic, right? But it's good to have a freedom, isn't it? However, there is something that you gotta be careful with. There's two things. It's a hell and heaven. You can have a freedom and do whatever you want, but if you end up in hell, probably you will regret to have all the freedom and choose whatever to do, whatever you please of it, see in this earth, and then at the end you end up in hell. It's going to be horrible, I think. But anyway, let's do this, right? So let's do a little programming here. Okay, so struct, right? That's how you write it. Struct, right? And then this is what happened here. So here I have to put some name, right? And the name is going to be church. Right? Church. No, without a D. Okay. Now, over here you put a set of brackets. And you look at that. When you put a set of brackets, Visual Studio already added a semicolon. If the IDE that you are using is not adding this semicolon for you, then you edit, right? Right? So that's how you do it, right? So inside over here, we are going to declare some variables. We are going to declare what do we have in church? What do we have in church, right? Of course, we have members. And do we get like doubles, like a member and a half? We call that a member of the church, right? A whole person, right? So integer, right? So call that members. Right? And we want to leave that like that. What else we have, right? We have names, right? Members have names, right? And we call that a chart because they take characters, right? To kind of, characters like A's and, like letters to write names, right? If that makes sense. So in this case, I will put something, names, like that. And I will add some, right? And I will add something like this. Why not? Maybe 100. This is just how big is going to be that name of the person, basically, Who is going to have like it might be somebody who has a lot of letters in their name, right? Okay, now let's do another one. Let's do another variable. Let's do int, right? And int, we have age, right? So we have that. Now, look what I did here. So this is outside the main. The struct is outside the main, right? And you can use this struct with void loops, with with void functions. I'd say void loops because I usually program Arduino and Arduino too, and in the Arduino they use the void loop, which is like the main loop. But anyway, so on the void function, you can actually use this tool. It's very usable, right? But anyway, over here we'll use it in the main. Okay. So let's see that we can actually do something right here, right? Okay. So for me to use this struct that is called church, I need to copy that, and then it's called a tag, right? I need to copy the tag or write it down, whatever you want it, and call it something, right? And call it like a member info, right? Why not? Member info, right? Members info, right? And we put, okay, so look at that. I did not have to declare the data type for members info. Why? Because it's just like a name, right? A name belongs to a certain group of people. In that certain group of people is church, right? Okay, so let's say, for example, that you have a group of people in the church, right? And you have some certain restrictions on it, for do some stuff, right? And one of the restrictions will be to be baptized. I mean, not you're restricted to be baptized, but you have to have a certain age to be baptized, right? That may So I don't want people to think that people have a restriction to go to church. No, people to get baptized in church, right? Okay, so let's do that. Let's say that you have a certain number of church in the members in the church, right? You don't want to start start from 1 and go into whatever, right? And I mean, you can build this program different ways, but this is the way that I'm doing it right now anyway. So I might come up with another program later on with a different, but this is what for the use of this method. That's what I'm doing right now. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so let's say, for example, that you want to do that. So you want to see out something, right? You want to see out something. I want to make the user or whatever is using the program to enter the data and then go from there. That makes sense. Okay, so see out, and then we can do enter number 1, right? Whatever. Enter 1. Enter 1 for the first member. Okay, so right here, right? So right? So then we and a line right there. Okay, so now here we do a little see in, right? What we're seeing in the members, right? So we say see. Okay, so see in, right? And then here we add members, right? But with something that I'm going to show you right now. See, it's giving me an error, and even though you do it like this, it's going to give me an error. Why? Because it's sensing that it's saying, oh, I have a group of people that's called a church, right? And I need to use this because this has not been declared I need to kind of use a different method to kind of get that data, right? So this is how you do it. So in this, you use what is called a dot operator, right? So you put this right there, right, put it right there, and you do a dot in the middle, right? And that will fix the problem. You use a dot operator to let the user input the data because technically this is technically belong to this part, but just it's just like a name, right? Okay, so now we have that. Next, we can make a use a little while loop here. Why not? We can make a use a little while loop and say, okay, while, actually, yeah, while, right? And we can bring that down, right? All the way down. Right? But then inside the while, as you know, it takes another parenthesis. This is regular parenthesis for the condition, right? We need a condition. And in this condition, we need to put members dot info dot members, right? And that we will make it equal to something, right? And that will make it equal to less or equal to 200. Let's say that you have 200 members in the church, right? Okay. Inside this while loop, we can do a lot of stuff, right? Why? Because we have a little tool right here that we can use, right? And then, which is the struct, right? We have the struct, and we have the tag, and then we have the struct on the top. We're using the tag here from the struct, and then we're using the name, right? To help us to kind of build in like a piece of, like a black hole cut inside of that, right? Below that. Okay, so remember that this is an integer, right? And then we will have, what else? We have what? We have, so let's say, for example, that we were using basically, okay, so we're using 3 variables. We make use of one now, right? Now we will use the rest, right? And to use the rest, we need to, well, before I gotta put a condition. I gotta put a condition, right? Because I want to make it sure that, okay, so remember the while loop without stopping this program not gonna help. So in this case, I will do something. I will do an if statement, because I'm not gonna be running this loop continuously or iterating it. I want to be able to put the data and let me know whether that person can be baptized or not, right? That's, okay, never mind. Okay, so you will see it. That's the whole purpose of the video, right? To show you that the little techniques that we can use to twitch the stuff in here. Okay, so let's do it. In this if statement, I will say if this, remember I have to include that because it's a dot operator. It has to be used in that case, right? So if that is less or equal to 200, then do something. Because technically, it gotta be more than one, right? I mean, a church with just a pastor, I mean, yeah. So, gotta be more than one. Okay, that's what I'm assuming. Anyway, here, if this is more than this, then we can say it's less or equal to, right? Then we can say if the member that member info dot members, if member info dot members is less or equal to, then we can add 1 to it. Why not? Right? We can add 1 to it. So, right? And then here we can just add 1 to it, plus 1. Oops. Right? Plus 1. Right? And then we actually do that, right? Now, if that is the case, then we see out something, see out some data to the, some info to the user, right? And we make that, we can say enter the members, enter the members, right? So enter the members name, right? Okay, so then what we can do on the bottom is we see out something else. Below this, we can actually do see in something out, right? See in what? See in the name, right? That's being asked for, right? So all we have to do in this case is do this and change it. Change it names, right? So we change it for names, right? And then we actually do that, right? We'll enter the name of the person, right? Next, we'll enter something else, right? We will prompt the user to enter something else. And then over here, we will do something. And then, let's say, for example, that you want to display the name, right? We enter the name, well, you want to display here, right? Well, let's do it, for example, you want to do it that way, right? You can put names here, right? So name, actually, instead of writing all the stuff, just copy. Right there. Bam. Right there, right? So what we'll display it, we will display it if I name Eli here, then it's going to be displayed Eli here, right? Output Eli, basically, that's what I'm saying. But I'm going to do something here. I'm going to say enters the member's age, right? So to do that, we will put a little space here. Enters what? Eli's name or whatever name, right? Okay, so but I need to do little more space here. Okay, like that. Okay, so in this case, no. I already had a name, I'm gonna enter age. That makes sense, right? Then we use the same thing, with copy that down, int, put it right here. And we are ready pretty much and put it into H. All right, put H in that one. Then we're ready to output some stuff, right? And we can say now, we can say that the following: if, right? If, right? If member info, if member info is greater or equal to 14. Let's say, for example, the church has a rule, right? And I say, well, members have to be 14 years old to be baptized, to get baptized, right? If that is the case, then we can say something right here. We can say cout. We can say cout what? Well, cout members. Okay, so I should just copy the next line, but okay, it's okay. Cout, what am I, what information I need? Well, I need name, whatever name I enter, right? So I put that right there. Cout something, right? In this case, cout such and such. Right? Can be, you can put this whatever you want. Should be baptized, or the baptized can be baptized. Right? Now, else, if that is not true, I can say else, if that is not true, in other words, if it's less than if the age is less than 40 years old, then cout cannot be baptized. Something like that, right? And over here, of course, we add return, oh, right there. And of course, everywhere, every single line of code has pretty much has a semicolon in C++. So making sure you add a semicolon. Right. So let's do it. Hopefully it runs. Okay. So enter one, right? Enter the member's name, right? Eli, for example. Enter the member's age, right? Here you go. Eli is gonna be baptized, and the only problem here is that this came together. But I can fix the problem. That's easy. So over here, I can add another little space between. Here you go, and then we can have. So here you go. We can do this again. One, and then we can go what? Eli, right, age, cannot be baptized. Enter the member's name, right? Why? Because the count is less than 200, okay? Now, Joe. Enter the member's age, 20. Can be baptized. Isn't that cool? Then, but for some reason, why it is popping up like this? Interesting. Okay, so for some reason it's popping up together, but so we can actually, okay, Joe, oops, nope, one, and then Joe, right? All right, 20. Okay, so right here, quick fix. Okay, one, Joe, one, Joe, and then 20. Okay, Joe can be baptized, married. Right? Age. If it's 14, can be baptized. Okay. Adam. Right? Adam. 10. Cannot be baptized. Juliet. Juliet. Right? And then Juliet's age, right? And remember, see how this says right here? I can fix that too, right? I can say enter and then, yeah. So that's make more sense, more logical. Okay. So here, instead of having this, I can right here, right? So right in this line, so enter right here. Okay, so this is making more logical sense. Again, this is the structure of the program, how you want to output the data to the user, right? Basically, you can change this, right? So here I can put enter, right? And right there, right? And enter, not enter, okay. Right, so right there, it will be, as long as the program is working, you can change this stuff according to whatever you want to express yourself, right? Okay, so, okay, let's put 1, right? Enter the member's name, right? Stephanie, right? Stephanie, right? 21, right? See? But it's still together here. So you gotta, in this case, you gotta be playing with this. In this case, we need to add another space here. See that? Right? Stuff like that. Right? So oh, that's because I'm running this. I need to cancel that one first. Okay, so right, Steve, right? So let's do 1. All right, and then we'll do Steve, and then we do 30, right? Enter Steve age. See, you can, yeah. Is this, and then Steve can be baptized, right? Enter another name, right? Enter another name, Laura. right? 13. Laura cannot be baptized, right? Rose. Oops. Rose, right? 21. Eli. 2. Right? Whatever, right? Carlos. 25. As you can see, that the program works, right? And the main thing to of this is to how to use the struct. See, I am using two different data types over here. I am using integer and I am using the chart, right? So that's the whole purpose of this video, right? The whole purpose of this video is how show you how to use the struct to do programs like this. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please subscribe and share the video. Give me a like too, right? Thank you for watching.